The lake itself is a horseshoe shape. I'm guessing that the fish are going to be up one end. There are so many cracking carp in this lake and I'm really excited to get going. The lake is notoriously weedy. I'm going to have to keep my eyes peeled throughout the session. This seems a good starting point.
What's that? As dead on as it gets?
This is exactly why we've come to North Bank. The rod has just absolutely ripped off the left-hand rod a couple of minutes ago. Yay! Nice! That'll do. Well, here we are at Embryo's North Bank. I'm here for a 48-hour session. Now, I've managed to book the lake exclusively, so I've got it to myself, and it is a beautiful little venue. It goes round in almost a horseshoe, slightly bigger than a horseshoe, and it's quite narrow in the middle. So I'm guessing that the fish are going to be up one end, but I'm going to go and have a little walk in a moment. But as you can see behind me, there are so many cracking carp in this lake and I'm really excited to get going. So this is going to be base camp. I've got my barrow in here. I'm going to tie up my rigs and everything in here because I have no idea where I'm going to fish as yet. But I'm guessing it's going to be at one of the ends. So we're going to have our barbecues in here, going to have our teas and everything in here, and my plan is to keep on the move. So without further ado, I'm going to have a walk and hopefully go and find a few carp. So I've had a bit of a scout round and it is a very interesting lake. It's got sort of two really open ends and a narrow channel that sort of runs just behind me here. And I found fish in a couple of different areas. There's a big sort of expanse of open water, probably the most water in front of me here, and fish is showed on the far bank sort of 20 yards off what looks like quite a dense weed bed. So I am going to explore that area with a lead, have a few flicks around, see if I can find a spot off of that weed bed. But I'm also going to keep an eye on the channel behind me. Now, I didn't think there'd be any fish in there. It's extremely shallow, but the colour of the water is absolute chocolate. I look down here now and I can see every single thing on that bottom. I go in the swim over there and you can't even see a millimetre off the jetty. It is pure chocolate, which screams out carp. So my plan is probably to set up base camp here because I've got lots of options, but I'm also may do a bit of stalking or a bit of one rod action in there at some point. So that's the plan at the moment. I will keep an eye on the other area of the lake as well because it is just me here, and if I catch one, if I do one too many casts, they may push off into the other bowl. So it is going to be about keeping on the move, having base camp sort of in the little clubhousey bit, and just keep my eyes open. So yeah, I'm going to go and get the kit, get set up. Horse spot. Right, well, I'm just having a few flicks with the marker because I'm looking for a little clear spot. The lake is notoriously weedy, but I have got a little bit of background information from the bailiff. So I'm basically looking for sort of a smoother, siltier spot. Oh, there we go. Lovely. Let's see how deep that is. I'm expecting it to be 3 or 4 foot deep. The lake isn't particularly deep at all, so 2, 3, 4, 5 foot. Lovely. It's a really nice little smooth area just out the back of a weed bed, and it's 5 foot in depth, so that's a spot. I'm going to mark that one up on the sticks, put a little bit of bait out there, and yeah, that is the first spot found. Well, after having a few laps of the lake, I have settled on a swim known as Peg 9. Now, the reason for that is it gives me access to large lumps of open water, probably one of the most sort of widest swims that can give you access to a lot of water, and I think that's going to be key, particularly because I'm here on my own. I'm the only one fishing, so there are lots of areas that those fish can vacate to, so it's going to allow me to spread my rods around a bit, because the last thing I want to do is hem myself into a tiny little swim where the fish can do the off ski as soon as I cast or put a spom in. So yeah, this gives me plenty of options. I can go right round to the left, up the middle, round to the right. I can even put a sneaky little rod in the next swim or to the left if I need to. So yeah, it gives me plenty of options. Over the far bank, there are some very, very hefty weed beds right on the surface, and that is where I've seen a couple of fish nut out. So they're clearly areas that the fish like. I'm going to have to keep my eyes peeled throughout the session, but this seems a good starting point. So yeah, one rod to the left, one in the middle, and one round to the right. Really spread them out, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so this is the rig that I'm using on this session. Now, I've chosen this rig because I've had a quick flick about with the lead, and the spot is nice and clean, quite smooth, a little bit bitty, but no weed. There might be the odd patch of weed down there, but it's also not like a granite gravel bottom. So with it being a little bit bitty, I do want to fish a pop-up. So I've gone for a spinner rig. No doubt you've seen these millions and millions of times, but it's for good reason. They work extremely well. Now I'm fishing that size 6 wide gape in conjunction with a 12mm yellow Northern Special. Now the reason I've gone for yellow is that I'm using quite a bright mix. I'm just fishing for one bite at a time. I'm not going crazy with bait. The lake hasn't been fishing particularly well of late, so I'm going to be setting little traps of boilie crumb, flaked maize with a little yellow one over the top. So that's how I'm going to start the session. I have found some fish, I have found a nice spot. Now let's go and put theory into practice. Okay, so I've found some spots now, and one thing I think that's going to be very important on this session is to spread the rods around a bit. I do not want to put all of my eggs in one basket. I'm the only one fishing, and the fish are likely to keep on the move. So I am going to spread them about a bit. Now, I'm using quite a simple mix on this session. One thing on these embryo lakes is they get fed an awful lot of flaked maize. So it'd be silly for me not to use it. Going into this time of year, flaked maize is very, very digestible. It's visual as well, and the carp do love it. But I have added a couple of extras as well. I've got some boilie crumb in there. I've got some Pacific tuna boilie crumb and some whole ProStim 10 millers. I've also juiced it up with a load of the ProStim matching liquid, and it's soaked into that flaked maize nicely, and it is absolutely oozing that beautiful livery smell. So yeah, there is some visual sort of attractive properties to the mix as well. Obviously that yellow colour really does stand out in the weed and on that nice clear bottom, and it's not going to overfeed them either. So first of all, I'm going to fish little traps, few spoms over each, and take it from there. Boom. Quite literally, before we started recording this, I've just watched a fish show twice within 15-20 yards of the area. So right now I am in the right zone. It is just about to get dark. We are in full autumn mode now. The clocks went back at the weekend. The temperature is dropping, so I think it's going to be a bit of a chill tonight. And the trees are glowing their autumnal colour, so it's a lovely, lovely time of year to be out. Rods are out. I'm happy with all 3 spots, and hopefully one of the big scaly residents might make an appearance. Barley Boy is tucked in the bag already, so it leaves me to get the dinner on, and hopefully one of the rods might rattle off. Autumn is a great time to be fishing in the dark, so I'm pretty hopeful of something happening in the darkness. So fingers crossed it does. I'll see you in the morning. See, he's mint, mate. Well, what a way to start the morning. It's been drizzling all night, but this one has brightened up the spirits. Beautiful, beautiful little fish. One-eyed Willie, I'm going to nickname him. You won't be able to see it, but he's only got one eye on the other side. And he's a real cracking little carp. Caught on little yellow northern special over not very much bait, just a little trap. She was mine. So yeah, a cracking start to the day. Scaly North Bank carp, and I've got an even bigger one waiting for its photo to be taken. So I'm going to slip her back now. Let's go and have a look at that one. What are we saying? Should we have another go? It was like dead on 30, weren't it?
Oh, look. What's that? As dead on as it gets?
Bang on.
Well, that'll do. We'll call it £30, Chewy. Nice. Wow. An absolute brute of a carp, this one. £30 on the nose. This is exactly why we've come to North Bank. There are some absolute chunks in here, and this is one of them. I'm guessing it may well be known as single scale, but I'm going to go and have a look on the wall in a little bit. But yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with that one. A chunky autumn mirror carp. Again, fell to the Northern Special Yellows over a little trap. So yeah, I've got the tactics right so far. Now, with the left-hand rod and the middle rod working really well, I did hear a few down in this bay last night, so I may just move the right-hander onto that. I'll have a bit of an investigate in that swim, see what's out there, and I might switch it over there. But for now, yeah, I'm a very happy boy. Chunky monkey. Right, let's get you back, mate, see if we can catch another. North Bank is a venue in Cambridgeshire located really near the town of Peterborough. Now the venue itself is an exclusive only venue, which basically means you can book it for yourself or a group of friends either midweek or at the weekend. Now I would recommend that you do bring a few friends. The lake itself is a horseshoe shape, and I think it pays off to have a few people on to keep those fish moving around. If you're just by yourself, I think you can end up pushing them away and up the opposite end to you are fishing. Now, the stock itself, there's around 190 carp, a real mixture of different strains, commons, mirrors, fully scaled, dumpier ones. There really is all sorts in here, and I believe they go up to mid-30s with a very good number of 30-pounders. It's a beautiful lake. There's lots of features. There's weed, there's clearer areas, there's shallow areas, little deep bits, drop-offs, plateaus, all sorts. It really is a box of chocolates. There's a little sort of narrow channel here that the fish can often be seen colouring up, so you'll know exactly when they're in there, and then a couple of bigger bowls at either side. So yeah, it's a cracking lake, one that I'm really enjoying fishing. Hopefully I'm going to get stuck into a couple more. Just taking 10 minutes to have a little bit of shelter, because it has been absolutely pouring down pretty much since the moment that I woke up. There are a few blue patches around, but these clouds just seem to be appearing from nowhere and just sending down sheets and sheets of rain. So it hasn't been a day for chasing them around the pond. Not that I think that would have done us any good anyway. These fish seem particularly spooky, so setting the traps early and waiting for that nighttime bite, I think, seems the most logical plan at the moment. So I redid the rods this morning, freshened everything up, and I'm kind of just hanging around till darkness. All the activity was in darkness. I was hearing fish to my right, hearing fish out in front of me, and it seems like that is the time to get a bite, which is quite often the case in the autumn. So yeah, I'm just waiting for those hours of darkness. So having a quick brew. Hopefully the rain will stop in a moment, and yeah, darkness will be upon us. And you never know, another one of those fish off the board might make its way into my landing net. Let's see what happens into dark. So we're coming in to the final evening now, after what can only be described as a very uneventful day. It's been a bit of a nothingness sort of day, to be honest. I haven't seen a lot of action. I saw a couple show pretty close to where I'm fishing, which has made my mind up for tonight. I'm just going to sit and fish the same spots as last night. I have kept an eye on the area to the right where I heard them last night, but nothing's shown there all day, so there's absolutely no reason to be moving. But I'm still going to go into the night confident, because I'm still on carp, and it might just be that they're feeding upon the hours of darkness. So yeah, it's a very similar night to yesterday. I think it's going to get really misty. I think at midnight last night I couldn't even see sort of out to this platform. You know, it got really foggy and misty. So I think it's going to be much of the same. Let's just hope I have a repeat of last night, because I had a belting carp this morning. That 30-pounder has really made the trip. But if I can latch into one of the really scaly ones, one of the bigger scaly ones, it really will be icing on the cake. So yeah, I'm going to go and eat my curry. Hopefully something will interrupt me tonight. Well, good morning. We're on our final morning, and the rod has just absolutely ripped off. The left-hand rod a couple of minutes ago, yeah, woke me from having a bit of a lay-in this morning. We had a bit of another treacherous night of rain, absolutely battered down all night with no action, and yeah, this one's just woke me up. Keeps hitting weed beds, which is a bit annoying. We're in one now. Just hoping we're going to get her in. Slowly coming. Slowly. Right, she's coming. Picked up what looks possibly the other rod, is it? Or not? Which way is it? Just gonna try and steer it clear of these reeds. There we go. Come on. Yay! Nice. That'll do. $24.8. $24.8. That'll do. Well, what a lovely way to start the morning, and probably a lovely way to finish this film. A 24.5 pounds North Bank carp, which again was taken on a yellow northern special. I've absolutely loved this trip. We're going to get off just before the rain comes and some really, really heavy winds by the looks of it. But if you're looking to book an exclusive venue for a group of friends, it's perfect for a social, or just come and catch some of these wonderful carp. Right, mate, let's get you back and get home before we get soaked.